I'm going to talk a little bit about the artists and the creative scene of where this concept of Nomadixx and the global diaspora come from. Before I do that, I sort of wanted to discuss how I've created various platforms. Like, I haven't just, and I understand how TikTok works, but I personally don't use TikTok anymore, and I've done the lives and all that stuff, and it just wasn't, I don't know. I just, for me, it was just too much over engagement, and I literally just stopped because it was just driving me up the wall. The same thing applied for Facebook, and I literally just stopped. I was like, I'm done. I'm 46 years old. I don't have to play this silly game. So I'm on here trying to be a little bit more methodical on how I utilize social media now, because I don't see social media as just entertainment, right? I think a lot of people assume that entertainment is what the goal is, or the initial plan for the platform, but because I had done my master's and I had done my bachelor's and I've done studies abroad in different countries during high school and junior high and elementary school, I just don't see it the same way. And obviously, being a Gen Xer, you see things a little bit differently. I like my little plushes, but when I moved back to the States, I didn't have anything. I literally came with a backpack, my certificates, maybe some clothing, but I had to start over again. So all the stuff you see here is me leaving the country that I was living in, which was South Africa, where my parents have a house. My sister has a house, and everything is like there because when they moved from the American Embassy, they took everything from the United States and sent it over to South Africa, and now everything is over there. So when I moved back, I came with nothing. Nothing. I was like literally traveling with nothing. So all the stuff you see now is new concept, new things, because all the old stuff that my parents have in their house, I was not prepared to bring back with me. So I'm starting over like everybody else is, right? So that's first and foremost of how my global content comes in, is I'm not starting with a house. I'm starting with everything that I have carried along the way and the work that I've established through the process. We don't own this place. This place is rented. Okay, so that's like a whole nother subject. Right, okay. So going back into the context of what I could carry, I was able to get onto the internet and learn how to develop my own sites before social media became like this huge thing. And for me, that was like my saving grace. I was able to carry back was everything that I had put together on the internet. My name is Sinta. That's an Indonesian name. It's not even Spanish. It's Indonesian. I'm part Asian because of my mom's mixed background from South Africa, and my dad's Jewish background from the United States. Okay, so there's like that. And I was just talking about my trip back to the United States, leaving South Africa in 2013. I moved back to the States, but before that I was in university for my bachelor's and graduated in 2002 or 2001, and then from there went straight to South Africa to join my parents, which is where they decided to retire from the US Embassy. So I was just bringing up that movement of having to move again without a house, without clothing, without all of the things and the essentials that you need to survive a normal life. You have to start over again, right? So I've experienced that starting over again maybe about 5 or 6 times already. So this is what you're seeing now, is a person who has gone through this so many times that she doesn't even like count the times she had to start over again. But myself being the person, starting over again also meant understanding, learning new skills and new understanding of how technology worked. Luckily, I had skills in technology because I worked in the embassy and I worked in different places with music, and music production was also part of the process. In one of my videos, I brought up that I have personally saved $100,000 creating my own business structure. I saved, I didn't pay out. Meaning when I was making and developing the projects, I didn't think about hiring people. I learned the skills to create these particular formats so I could save money and I didn't have to spend money on hiring people to do it for me. So I think that's where I wanted to start today, is I wanted to just explain how obviously, you know, if you go into the internet, you can actually learn the costs. Let's just talk about video production and editing. I do that myself. Generally, people would hire somebody to do video and editing if you were a larger industry guru. They would charge about 300 videos at 100. So if you're creating 300 videos, it would be like $100, right? Music production, since I do that myself and I built my own equipment and put it together, I am now saving on worrying about copyright restrictions because I do that myself. I'm basically saving about 10 to 25,000 depending on, so I don't need to worry about this. All of these things, this is why I think it's important for people to understand that having those qualified skills or learning the skills, you don't even need to get a qualification. Learn the skills, implement those skills into your business structure. Say, for instance, you're looking for a job and you can't find a job right now. This is how you build yourself up. You don't wait for somebody to give you something. I've learned a long time ago when I moved back to the States, I wasn't expecting anybody to give me a job. I had to go out and apply for jobs, right? Give them what I had, which were the resumes. We didn't have AI to help with the resumes. I had to backtrack and remember all the jobs that I had, which I already have on my resume, which is over tons of stuff from 2001. Okay, so my channel is not, it's a historical referenced environment, okay? So I'm bringing these up because all of these creative artists that I'm going to talk about had their own restraints and restrictions of moving to different countries and having to resolve issues in their mind, and they didn't have social media or the internet back then. So it was very hard for them to make movement, and obviously every one of them must have had skills, right, to develop their own structural lifestyle and formats. I was going to talk about Yoko Ono. I was going to bring up a little bit about Georgia O'Keeffe, Frida Kahlo, Yoko Ono, Yayoi Kusama. I was also going to bring up a videographer even before their time or during the same time, whose name was a Korean guy, a Korean creator, which was, I don't know, Nam June Paik. I only just recently learned about Nam June Paik, which I should have known, but I didn't actually know. So I was a little shocked to know that this was a creative videographer who saw changes when television first came out to develop what we now have as like social media, I guess, right? He had seen and envisioned all these things happen during the 1970s before it happened and created concepts from like a Dada impressionistic approach to things. I have a video on how AI is the next level to the arts, fine arts. We're not talking about the music side. The music side I have questions about, but the visual arts, when you're using, I see it a little bit differently. I think visual arts, visually, as an artist who creates visual art work, I feel like I have an allergy to paint. I have to make sure that I use things that are not paint related because I break out into horrible hives. That's a lot of the reasons why I don't wear makeup either, because makeup also creates, it's actually bad for your skin. So I might not look 46 because I don't wear that much makeup. I don't wear base, I don't wear foundation, I wear eyeliner and a little bit of eyeshadow, and that's it. I don't wear perfumes. The only cream I use is Nivea, okay? So knowing that I have skin allergies has made me think about what materials and mediums I can use as an individual that will not have me restricted from skin issues. That's my biggest problem, is that I have skin issues. I can't even do, like, if I were to do, like, if I did TikTok projects that I had people invite me to do and discuss, like, these, like, health things and sprays, I have to decline because those are the things that I would be highly allergic to. So this is the kind of stuff that I separate myself from. Okay, so there are some artists that have issues with certain mediums. So I'm one of those artists that has issues with certain mediums. I do create art with textiles. I do create art with watercolor, but I do create art with paper. This is one of my pieces below here. This is also my work. This is soundproofing, which is nothing hard to do, but you get like panels, and you create the panels, and then you stretch the material over the panels depending on the situation. So there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do.